You know what? I don't have the words for it, but if I grew up in this day and age, if I was a millennial or whatever they call them nowadays, I there would be no David Goggins. No one ever have heard of me. So I'm very blessed that I grew up in the time frame that I did because there is no mental toughness, there is no self discipline. Everybody gets a trophy, and I hate to say it, but you're gonna lose in life.
Well, I mean, society in general has just gotten weaker all across the board. So that trickles over, that kind of spills over to the school system, to the education system. And our kids are paying for that now. Kids are paying for the simple fact that there's a lot more pressure on them and they're weaker minded. Think about that. Society now is weaker minded and there's a shit ton more pressure than what we had when we were growing up. I know I'm 43 years old and I look at society now with how hard it is to keep up with everybody else. Because why? You can look at your phone and see how great the whole fucking world is. Because the whole world is only sharing what the fuck they want you to know about them. They're not sharing, their bad shit, how hard life really is, what they're trying to overcome and all those things like that. So,
and that's what makes you an absolute winner by the fact that you are going to lose in life. So, I mean, we're doing these kids a huge injustice. And I can talk about this for days. But the only way you're going to fix yourself from being a snowflake, from being soft, from being a weak person, is honestly, you have to be really raw. I invented this thing years ago called the accountability mirror. And it's how you cure the snowflake epidemic. You put yourself in front of a mirror while you're getting ready for work or school or whatever you're doing, and only you know how f***ed up you are. We can lie to everybody. You can lie to your girlfriend. You can lie to your boyfriend. You can lie to people at school. You can't lie to yourself. So what I did was I lied so much and I was so insecure growing up is that how I cured my snowflake is I got in front of a mirror with just me and my pathetic self, and I started writing sticky notes all over this mirror about how f***ed up I am, about what I need to change about myself, about how real I need to attack my life, the situations that I'm facing, the situations I'm afraid to face, and start to man up. And but I tell you right now, it's not getting any better right now. This world, especially in the U.S., we are soft as soft can be. You can't say a f***ing thing. Everybody gets offended. Everybody's got every f***ing movement going on, knowing the man. It's just everybody's so thin-skinned, and you don't get better that way. You just get worse.
You got to have total, and we use I hate using these damn words because they're thrown around so willy-nilly nowadays. Accountability, mental toughness, grit, all this shit, man. So I hate even saying it, but it's true. But I'm gonna go a step further. Self, it starts with yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I'm bitchy, I'm whiny, I complain, I have an 8-hour job that only work 3 or 4 hours a day. We have to really bring it back to ourselves.
So basically, and once again, I'm not a tough guy. So I'm not a tough guy. I realized I had to become a tough guy to succeed in society. Right. Well, for me, the reason why I did that is I realized that I wanted to also choose the easiest. And this is the mindset behind me. If I'm going to go through the hardest training, I want the hardest spot in the worst position in the hardest training in the world. Because what that does is, if my mindset is going to the hardest place, like in Hell Week, when you're carrying the boat, the toughest spot to be in is the number one spot. It's the heaviest part of the boat, and I never left that position. Because the more your mind searches for a comfort, any kind of comfort, it will continue wanting to find more and more of it. But the way I train my mind is, I want to find the hardest location known to man. And then my mind continues to go that way versus the other way. Because once you start giving yourself a way out, oh, you know what? I'm going to run 5 miles today. I'm going to run 4 miles. You know, for me, it's like, no, I'm going to go the opposite way. So my mind continued to get harder and harder and harder because I knew the second I gave it a way out, it was going to take it. And I also wanted to choose the hardest way because it was my way of motivating people. So how I motivate people is I was a broke crew leader going through all my hell weeks. And how I motivate people is give me the suckiest mother thing on the planet Earth and watch me excel. Watch me excel. I won't say a word to you, but when you see me broke down, up, legs broken, and I go back to the number one spot on that fucking boat, and it's the heaviest thing known to man, you're going to look at me and say, Roger that. Let me follow this guy. So I do shit by example. I do the hardest shit so the people following me say, yeah, that's where I want to be behind that motherfucker right there. And nothing, but no one came to save me. I didn't win a trophy for getting F. I was a bad student, and people told me I was a bad student, and people told me I was going to be a failure, and I was going to be a loser. While those words were harsh, you have two options when you have those words in front of you. Either sack it up, or else to go be a and go high. I mean, that's the thing about it. People think that this is something that's every day. Oh, it must be a routine for David. Yeah, it's a routine, but the routine goes like this. I wake up, I feel sorry for myself, I don't want to do it, and I say, hey, you're being a sack it the up, let's go. On in life, I had to be the mother that could take anything, that could carry any cross, 2 or 3 crosses, as many crosses, so I developed this callous mind, a man that can walk through a fire and not get burned, who can take words and not say sticks and stones may break my bones. No, words hurt. But I want to get to a point where nothing hurt me. So I started to develop myself. I developed myself. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about fame. It wasn't about women. It was about I have to have so much pride in myself that nothing can hurt me. Can't hurt me. So basically what I did was I said, how am I going to do this? I'm going to have to literally start doing things I don't want to do and doing them to the best of my ability, because that's where I started gaining this mental edge. I started realizing life isn't about all this bullshit. Life is about one thing, being proud of the person you see in the mirror. And once that started happening, the mind started callousing. And the more the mind started callousing, the more people couldn't with me anymore. And I became unstoppable mentally.
We are our worst enemy, especially nowadays. We want everything to come over fucking night. All of our results have to come today. If I lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months, it's pretty daunting task. But if I had the mindset of I have to lose 106 pounds today, it took me 18 months.
You would disappear.
I disappear. I literally lost. I failed 3 times to be a Navy SEAL. It took me 18 months to be a Navy SEAL. The program's only 6 fucking months long. So what we have to do is we have to set our new norm, our new normal. What does that mean? Our new normal. When I was in SEAL training, I was getting the shit kicked out of me every fucking day. And I kept on getting rolled back to day one. Rolled back to day one, week one. Most people would have fucking quit. But my mindset became this. This is my new normal. My new normal is I get up at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. I get my fucking ass kicked every fucking day of my life. There's nothing outside of this world for me right now. This is my life. Like people who become POWs, prisoners of war. If they can't change their mind to think this is my new fucking normal, this is my life. This is where I live. You have to become adjusted to where you're at. A lot of people say, yeah, you have to be able to look beyond this. Sometimes the pain is so miserable, the suffering is so intense. You look too far beyond anything, you're going to quit.